I'm redefining grief. I'm redefining grief.
Y'all, I'm back. I'm back. And when I say I'm back, this is coming like a backity back that I talked about last week, jokingly saying those things. But the weekend I just had of stillness, clarity, celebration, community. I prayed for this, right? And what flows through your heart is what you receive in life. And I am receiving what flows through my heart. That's a major, major thing. But you all, I can't move on any further without telling you all in 5 days as a self-published author, we sold well over 100, like 110 books, 108 books. And it was very important to me that I did not buy these books for myself. It was very important to me that we did a pre-order, and every book that was purchased, that was my faith being anchored even more. You all purchased the book. You don't know what the cover looks like. There's an idea that my team put together, but you don't know what the book looks like. You don't know the characters of the book. You went in blindly to support me. And for that, I am grateful. Now, I can go and list everybody that supported me. However, I just can't because I fear that I might leave someone out. But I will say, we got a Canada purchase. We got several funeral directors purchase. We have people who have purchased as much as 5 books, 3 books, 2 books. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This baby was a download from God that started in the shower, hopped on a flight, and by the time I went from Florida to Atlanta, the outline of the book was done. And then last week, we talked about the illustrator, that family history. Nothing in your life is ever wasted, right? No individual, no experience, no time together is ever wasted. And I must say this, you never know when God is going to bring you back together. So those friendships that seem like they have dried up, let me tell you something about that living water. If he decides that it's time because of your maturity, it's time because of the season you're in, it's time because of the healing you've done, visit it. Open up those doors because there is a blessing that flows through rekindling. There's a blessing that flows through restoration. And I think that's very, very important. And so the whole goal, why did I say 100? And what y'all did not know is I was leaving on my 19th wedding anniversary cruise on Wednesday. Yep. And we were heading to the Keys. We were headed to Benami, Bahamas. We were traveling on Virgin Voyagers for the very first time. And one of the things I wanted to do as a wife is be as present as I could. And I think I was able to do that 90% of the time, 95% of the time. I will say this, when you enjoy what you are called to do, when you are present about the calling over your life, it does not feel like work. But my wifeidence, yes, that's a brand I once taught from. My wifeidence say I still need to be there and I need to be present for my husband, especially on a trip. So I was really trying not to work and kind of reset. And then the beauty of this is I was celebrating 19 years. My sister Lulu and her husband Shalito, as we affectionately call him, we're celebrating 20 years. Yes. Got married, and 2 sisters got married in the same month, a year apart. And I love it. I love that we were able. And then my cousins, oh, they were the sweetness to this travel because we laughed, we talked. I just love them. They remind me of my sister and they are Betsy and Meadley. We were able to travel, have a good time, eat good food, but nothing beats laughter. There was a theme throughout this weekend. 19 years, 20 years, for example. If Jameson didn't open the door, we'll jokingly say, that's 19 years, It was just so hilarious. And of course, for the next 24 hours between today and tomorrow, I will highlight some of those moments on my stories. So if you're not following me, go ahead and follow on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Go ahead and follow because the love is going to pinch you through the screen in a loving way. I love love, and I know that love is not easy by any means necessary. When you see someone do 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that does not mean they have not gone through trials and tribulation. Just maybe they decided that you're that person, I'm that person, and we're going to work through this through counseling. We're going to work through this through conversations. We're going to work through this by, yes, allowing our spouse to get on our nerves in that moment or that season. But after 19 years, I can look at my man and say, hey, I don't appreciate this, or hey, I like this, or hey, I want you to talk to me this way. And I normally do not say, hey. I'm more like baby, honey. I rarely call him by his first name. If I do, I'm really annoyed. And then at that point, he will not answer. He just won't, because he is not going to feed into that energy. And if anybody knows anything about Dr. Jameson Mercier, that man is extremely patient. But I will tell you, he's amazingly loving. And to love an individual like me without, and when I say like me, I am saying in my stature, in my anchoredness, through my brokenness, to love me unconditionally to the point it causes his heart to break, I will be forever grateful for our love journey. I will be forever grateful for our love journeys. One of the things I said many years ago at our wedding, and this was a private conversation, I said, you would have failed me as a husband if 20 years, 50 years later into our marriage, I am the same woman you walk down the aisle with. And I'm happy to report I am not the woman that walked down the aisles 19 years ago. I have officially turned into a butterfly. And I sit in this knowing that it came with some bruises, know that it came with some scars, know that it came with therapy. But most importantly, it came with the willingness to say, I will be different. I will evolve. I will become a butterfly. A butterfly is one of my sister's favorite. She loves butterflies. I'm into anchors, but I'm starting to really fall in love with butterflies and what they represent. As you know, I love anchors because it's the journey of my parents taking the boat to the United States. It's a symbol of, if you anchor in your faith, my God, where will you go in life, right? That's extremely, extremely important. That's extremely important. And I will say this, ladies, and I will say this, gentlemen. When you date, don't date just to marry. Date to see this person. Can they be the father of your children? Can they be the mother of your children? We're not looking for perfectionists, but we look for what it's going to really take and what you desire. And don't ever go into a marriage thinking you're going to change someone. And I'm going to tell you this. We're going to get Dr. J on the Redefining Grief podcast once again. But if you want to meet Dr. J, there is a podcast in our last season, couple seasons back, called Hope is Not a Plan. Hope is Not a Plan. I would advise you to check that out, and we'll put it directly in the show notes so you don't have a hard time finding it by any means. what you don't know, or maybe you do know if you listened to last week's podcast. My husband and I own Creole Adventures. The whole reason behind owning Creole Adventures is because we want to teach people how to live connected to my nonprofit, living intentionally, victoriously with expectations. I think sometimes people are caught up in the day to day of I got to work my 9 to 5, but don't realize that there's an expiration date on our life. And yes, we have to work to put food on the table. We have to work to keep the lights on. We have to work. But outside of work, what are we doing? Are we living? Outside of work, are you living? Are you tapping into the things that bring you joy? Is it walking? Is it riding a bike? Is it art? Is it music? Is it dance? Are you living? And so that's very important. I'm excited to announce, you all, I am excited to announce Creole Adventures will be doing an amazing epic girls trip next year, July 24th to the 29th. 2027 next year out of Miami. We are going to Turks and Caicos and Bimini, Bahamas. And that's why I can't say 100% of my time on this cruise was not working, because I was finalizing plans. I was checking things out to make sure that when you leave your family, you are coming to rest and have an amazing time. And by the way, the acronym for next year's girls trip is called REST. And in another episode, I'll break down the acronym. That's so important. And once again, we'll be heading to Bimini, Bahamas, as well as Turks and Caicos. If you would like more information about our REST girls trip on Virgin Voyagers, an adult-only cruise ship, 18 and over, you can email us at creoleadventures@gmail.com, and we'll put that in the show notes so that you can find it easily. Creole Adventures, because life is meant to be lived, not just worked. At Creole Adventures, we create unforgettable travel experiences designed for every season of life. Whether you're celebrating love, healing, connection, or legacy, we help turn your dream trip into reality. Honeymoons and romantic getaways. Reconnect, celebrate love, create memories that last forever. Retreat getaways. Rest, reset, restore your mind, body, and soul. Family reunions. Bring the whole family together for moments that become cherished memories. Self-love travel experiences, because sometimes the most important trip is the one you take for yourself. Travel. Group travel adventures. Special cultural experiences through our exclusive travel community and group channels. Life is too precious only to work. Take the trip. Celebrate the moment. Live the life you deserve. Book your next adventure with us by contacting us for more information currently by emailing us at creoleadventures@gmail.com. creoleadventures@gmail.com. And myself, Herdyne Mercier. Yes, I'm a travel agent. I have turned what I love to do about living to support you live with the mental health component with it. You can contact me, Herdyne Mercier, or contact Dr. J. Book your next travel adventure with us by emailing us at Creole Adventures, Creole with a C, CREOLE, Adventures with an S. We don't want to make you miss this opportunity to link up with those who understand the travel agency and want to support you. Email us at creoleadventures@gmail.com. I have to say, my talk today was written at 4:23 in the morning last week, Thursday. I was just filled with gratitude as I sat in my hammock, my red hammock. It was dark. You can hear the ocean. There's just something so soothing about the ocean and what it does to your body. I want you to know there is science behind being on water, right? It resets your nervous system in a way that I just cannot describe, But I love the water. My favorite color on the entire universe is aqua. Oftentimes people say, Herdyne, you are on a cruise every other day. Yes, I have been cruising for 19 years, you all. My family and friends are, girl, you are always on a cruise. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I'm going to share the benefits with you today. Why is it so important to pause and take a cruise? I think people don't realize the benefits. One, it's built-in entertainment all in one. Your meals, the entertainment, depending on what cruise line you go on, what happens, your transportation could sometimes be included depending on what's happening. You get to visit multiple destinations. But the most important thing for me is the rest in the nervous system reset. I think people don't often realize that we are always under attack. And I have recently read something that says, probably in the book of Your Body Keeps the Score, that some of our tissue is holding on to the trauma of our past. So when I say to you, what are you doing to reset? What are you doing to reset your nervous system? One of the things I do with my clients, and sometimes we do these reset breathing activities, or they'll hold their hand over their heart. And I would give them directions about, think about a time in your life you were the most happiest. And some of them get emotional because they forgot about that joy, right? So what are you doing to reset? For me, it was celebration, but it was also a reset. I felt as if I was anchored in the faith, but I needed to pause and celebrate what we just accomplished. You saw a week, 5 days of success with the book, but this was years in the making, right? There is something about that ocean that slows you down. The rhythm of the waves can help regulate your nervous system, reduce stress, create a space for emotional healing. While I was on the ship, I did spinning, which I loved. That was fun. While I was on the ship, I did a meditation class. I didn't get to do yoga, but that was okay. While we were on the ship, we had a 3-hour spa experience where we talked at some moments. I did the cold dip I tried to do it for 46 seconds, but I went a little bit longer because I'm 46, I can do 46 seconds. And then some of my cousin did 5 minutes. Shalito did about, over 5 minutes. They were competing on how long they can stay in that cold bath. It was really cold. It was really, really cold. And then we did the salt room. We did all of these things. And then we did the mud at the end, where I just laid there and I prayed, I meditated. I love a good spa experience. I think all of those things are important. And so what I'm asking you today is, what are you doing to reset? What does resetting look like in your life? What does taking charge of your mental health in your life look like? And if you don't know how, please contact an amazing therapist that can show you how. If you want to work with me, send us an email at connect@herdyne.com, right? I think sometimes we don't realize that we are going and going and going like a little hamster in a wheel. But when do you stop to take account of your breathing? When do you stop to praise that you are still breathing? When do you stop to recognize that you are worthy of rest? I have affirmation cards that was released and we're going to re-release them again. But one of them says, I am worthy of healing. I am worthy of the pause. I am worthy of travel. I am worthy. You are worthy of the benefits of living this life because you were granted this life. You were given this life to live. living intentionally, victoriously with expectation. So my question to you today is, what are you doing to live? What are you doing to live? You know, I did a post recently on social media as I realized this personal story, but not so personal anymore, is I struggled as a reader, right? So this book release, this elementary children's book on grief and emotions, is like, what? It was healing to my soul. I was in ESC classes, struggling to read, couldn't understand phonics. Something must have happened because I just don't understand. I stayed back in second grade, right? I love photos. My mind went and revisited, went through my photo albums, and I can look at a photo and know what I was going through in that time. Like going to my elementary school, looking at my middle school days. Like, wow. And I have some insight to my listeners. There is a plan for me to go read my book back to my elementary school where I struggled as a reader. That's healing. That's healing trauma. If anybody struggled with reading, y'all hated when the teacher decided, I think they call it Red Robin Hood, where they would go from person to person. My heart used to race. Oh my God. Don't embarrass yourself. Do you know what the words are going to be in this? So I tried to read across the trauma that comes with that, you know? And when I became a teacher, I made sure I gave my students who did not know how to read an opportunity to feel successful by allowing them to practice the passage. And we would pre-plan that I would call on you to read at that point. Healing the next generation is showing them what you have overcome. My Lord, my journey, and I learned this from Pastor Dr. Joel Tubman. I went to his Easter Sunday's service, and his message to say is the conflict manager. We got to learn to manage the conflict in our life. But one of the things I extracted from that sermon is that what I have went to, that pain through purpose, was the credentialing I needed to be where I am today. Even when I tried to give up, God did not let me. And Lord, I am thankful. I am thankful for that. I am thankful. I am forever indebted to the Creator. Even though he died on the cross for me, to just say this one testimony. When I wanted to give up, he did not let me. When my flesh was weak and tired, when my flesh decided enough was enough, he said no. And boy, am I glad he said no. If you want to support by ordering Mommy, What's That Feeling? By yours truly, Herdyne Mercier. The illustrator who did an amazing job is Belina Wright. You can go to the website, herdyne.com, to order. And then I'm super excited. What people did not know, that those who ordered are going to have access to a VIP experience of me reading the book, some special goodies. It's not too late to be a part of that. It's not too late to place your order. It's not too late to come into a Zoom call and celebrate with everybody who took the time to purchase something that they didn't even crack the book. They didn't get to scan it. That's that anchor. That's that faith. That's that belief in me that I pray when you read the story, you're able to be proud, right? Because I know this is my baby, that I have gone through some contractions to birth, but I'm so glad my baby is here, and I cannot wait to continue to share it with the world. What is it to look forward to? I think this week what I'm looking forward to is my sweet twin, right? I call her my twin, my second born, Tamar, Mar, her sweet 16. Wow. You know, I get emotional because when I see them as the 3-month-old, the 1-day-old, the 6-month-old, the 1-year-old, that age where you can put any outfit on them and they're like, it's cute. Now they're at the age where they have opinions, and I guess that's okay. And I don't like that, and I don't want that style, but they are so grateful. I have 3 amazing children that I love with all my heart: Jace, Azzy, and Marmar. They are my heartbeats outside my heart, really. And I love them so much. And I'm looking forward to celebrating her sweet 16 with an islands adventure. And I'll come back and experience that. So we will be exploring islands of adventure this weekend. And I'm praying for traveling mercies for all my family and friends that are going to be meeting us for a good old time. You know, life is an adventure, right? Life is really an adventure. But there's a psalm that I really remember. It was my theme verse for last year, and it's Psalms 46:15. God is within her. She will not fail. And I want to remind you, God is within you. You will not fail. But decide that in the midst of the storm, in the midst of the grief, in the midst of the joy, that every day, even when that footstep is heavy, in the days that it's light, you take extra steps. But trust that every step is a step of faith. It's a step of gratitude. It's a step of loving kindness. It's a step to reset your nervous system. It's a step to say, I am loved. But most importantly, I am loved by me. I think sometimes we as women or men, we pick ourselves apart. We look at photos and we break them down, and we look in the mirror and we look at what's not good in our eyes. And I'm doing air quotes that you can't see. But every time you do that, I think you dishonor your Creator, because He makes no mistakes. He makes no mistakes. And as I close today, I want to remind you that life is not perfect by any means necessary. Life is not perfect, but there's a requirement to live.
I'm redefining grief. I'm redefining grief.